Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I am Aditi Mehra. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Thursday, the 12th of March. India announces $500 million infrastructure credit to Mauritius. Sri Lanka to form new commission for probing war crimes allegations. And MQM cries political conspiracy in headquarters raid. And now for all the details. India has offered a $500 million concessional line of credit to Mauritius for key infrastructure projects. The two nations also signed 5 pacts including ocean economy during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to the Indian Ocean island nation. Our political editor Smrita Prakash reports from Mauritius.
Mr. Narendra Modi's second stopover in the island tour that he's undertaking is to Mauritius. Mauritius is known as Chota Bharat or Little India. Not just a small region, but the entire country is known as Little India. That's because the majority of the population is of Indian origin. When Mr. Narendra Modi landed out here, he was received in the airport by Prime Minister Anirudh Jagannath, an old India hand, who said that Sabka Saath Sabka Vikas, which is Narendra Modi's mantra, is something that's applicable even to Mauritius.
I wish to share with Sri Modi that his Sabka Saath Sabka Vikas motto clearly applies to Mauritius as well.
Mr. Narendra Modi signed several memoranda of understanding with Mauritius, but he's making sure that it's not just connection between the political leaderships of the two countries, but also people-to-people contact.
I was pleased to offer a concessional line of credit of $500 million for civil infrastructure projects for Mauritius. We also intend to quickly build the petroleum storage and bunkering facility in Mauritius. This will not only benefit Mauritius, but also reinforce its role as a regional hub.
Mr. Narendra Modi will be visiting Ganga Talab, and he'll be visiting the Mahatma Gandhi Center and also the Apravasi Ghat. Now, Apravasi Ghat is the place where the indentured labor first landed in Mauritius from India. So, Mr. Modi re-establishing that India link with the people of Mauritius. Smita Prakash, South Asia Newsline in Port Louis.
Sri Lanka will establish a domestic investigative commission within a month to probe alleged war crimes by its army, President Maithripala Sirisena has said. This comes even as the country is facing a UN inquiry into the issue. A report.
The new Domestic Investigative Commission will be tasked to look into measures necessary for what is to be done to probe the alleged violations. President Sirisena, who is on a visit to the United Kingdom, said the commission will also have the powers to punish whoever is found guilty in the probe. He also urged the ongoing UN-monitored international investigators not to interfere in the domestic probe. The UN-backed investigation was launched in 2014 after the then Sri Lankan government failed to come up with a credible probe despite international pressure. The Lessons Learned and Reconciliation Commission, appointed by former President Mahinda Rajapaksa in 2010, had claimed that the army did not target the Tamil civilians deliberately. It had also claimed that the LTTE committed more war crimes than the army. The UNHRC had recently deferred the filing of its report till September after the new government promised all cooperation to the investigations. The Rajapaksa government, which was hostile to the probe, had accused the then UNHRC chief Navi Pillay of personal bias and had denied the commission entry into Sri Lanka to conduct investigations. According to UN and other international rights groups, up to 40,000 Tamil civilians were killed in the final phase of the nearly 3 decades-long civil war, which ended in 2009.
A day after an Indian court summoned former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh as an accused in the multi-billion-dollar coal block allocation scam, his Congress party said it will fight the case legally. The party also expressed confidence that the economist-turned-politician will come out clean.
Senior Congress leaders, including party chief Sonia Gandhi, Kamal Nath and A.K. Anthony, met Manmohan Singh at his residence on Thursday in show of solidarity, a day after he was summoned by a court. Sonia Gandhi said the entire party stands by the former Prime Minister.
Dr. Manmohan Singh ji is our former Prime Minister. He is known not only in our country but throughout the world as being a person of integrity and probity. We are here to offer our unstinted support, our solidarity. The Congress Party is fully behind him. We shall fight this legally and with all our means at our command. We are convinced that he will be vindicated.
The ruling Bharatiya Janata Party, however, said the Congress Party was trying to put up a brave face.
The Congress is worried that Mr. Manmohan Singh may be forced to tell the truth on when he takes the oath or when he's summoned and he is asked to make his defense. And the truth of the matter is that Manmohan Singh was a conscious witness to what happened.
A special court in capital New Delhi had on Wednesday summoned Singh, industrialist Kumar Mangalam Birla and 3 top bureaucrats as accused in the case. Even though Singh has not been charged with any crime, he is being investigated for criminal breach of trust, criminal conspiracy, cheating and corruption. Hearing in the case will begin on April 8th. The coal scam, also known as the Coal Gate, is related to the allocation of coal blocks to private companies during the first term of the Congress-led United Progressive Alliance government. The state auditor had in its report claimed that the exchequer suffered losses worth $170 billion as the government chose to allocate coal blocks instead of a competitive bidding. Former Prime Minister Singh also held the coal portfolio during the period. The coal scam was one of the biggest scandals that rocked the UPA, which ruled India for 2 successive terms before being ousted from power in May 2014. Many see the series of corruption charges as one of the prime reasons behind the humiliating defeat the Grand Old Party suffered during the last general elections.
Bangladesh police has handed over evidence to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, which is probing the murder of US Bangladeshi writer Avijit Roy. The atheist blogger was hacked to death by suspected fundamentalists for his writings that criticized religion.
The 4-member special FBI team, which is assisting the Bangladeshi investigators in the murder probe, was given the DNA evidence in the case on Wednesday. The FBI, which began investigations following a request from Bangladeshi authorities, had earlier visited the crime scene and recorded the statement of Roy's wife and fellow blogger Rafida Bonia Ahmed, who was also injured in the attack. Ahmed had claimed that the police personnel stood close by and did not act while the duo were attacked by unidentified men in Dhaka late on February 26th. Roy, a US citizen of Bangladeshi origin, had become a target of the extremists for his views on religion posted in his Bengali language blog Mukto Mono, or Free Mind. Though the Bangladeshi investigators have arrested 2 people, including fundamentalist writer Farabi Shafiur Rahman, in connection with the incident, none has admitted of committing the crime. The murder of the progressive writer was internationally criticized, calling it an assault on free speech.
Pakistan's Muttahida Qawami Movement, or MQM, continued to protest against Wednesday's raid on its headquarters. The party has sought clarification from Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif about the role of the paramilitary forces in Karachi.
MQM chief Altaf Hussain called on former president and co-chairperson Pakistan People's Party Asif Ali Zardari to brief him about the illegal raid on MQM's Karachi headquarters on Wednesday. MQM lawmakers boycotted the Senate proceedings, strongly condemning the targeted operation. Lashing out at the police, the party raised questions over the timing of the action. Many also said the raid was carried out to punish the party for not supporting the government's candidate for the office of the Senate chairperson.
Political parties बयान देती हैं, ये पाकिस्तान में एक नया सिलसिला शुरू है, रेंजर्स ने बयान देने शुरू कर दिए हैं, रेंजर्स पार्टी बन गई है। पॉलिटिकल पार्टी के तो झगड़े देखे होंगे आपने, वो इदारा जो पूरे पाकिस्तानियों का है, हर पाकिस्तानियों का उस पे हक है और फख्र करता है, वो इदारा एक पार्टी बन गया एमक्यूएम के खिलाफ।
Paramilitary troops raided and sealed off the Karachi headquarters of MQM 90 on Wednesday, seizing important documents. According to reports, the Rangers, during the 2-hour operation, recovered sophisticated weapons and arrested a number of people wanted in criminal cases, including the main accused in journalist Wali Babar murder case. A number of party workers and central leaders were detained too. Family of Waqas Ali Shah, a member of the MQM Central Information Committee who was killed in a shootout during protest, blamed the police for targeting him. Shah was known for delivering fierce and emotional speeches during the MQM rallies. Interior Minister Chaudhry Nisar Ali Khan later defended the raid, calling it a step in positive direction to eliminate militants from Karachi. He said it was carried out on specific intelligence reports. Following the raid, MQM also announced a nationwide strike demanding suspension of public transport and calling upon the traders to shut their businesses. As fear and tension gripped the commercial hub, markets, schools, colleges and business centers remained closed down all through the day. MQM, the third largest party in Pakistan, has for years remained involved in a turf war with Awami National Party for supremacy and control of Karachi, the country's only economic showpiece.
The social indicators in GilgitBaltistan rank among the worst in the world, with only 25 small medical centers manned by 140 doctors in an area spanning over 27,000 square miles. The health sector is severely affected by lack of basic infrastructure. A report.
The Pakistan government had announced a grant of $100 million to build a medical college and hospital in every district of Gilgit-Baltistan. Areas like Skardu and Astor, which were declared major towns under the Gilgit-Baltistan Empowerment and Self-Governance Ordinance promulgated in August 2009, are yet to have any proper health care system.
हुकूमत गिलगित-बल्तिस्तान के अंदर सेहत के मेयार को बेहतर करने के लिए ऐलानात की हद तक तो बहुत कुछ करती है, लेकिन अमली तौर पर इसका मुजाहिरा यहाँ देखने में नहीं आता है। जैसे कि हॉस्पिटल्स की अपग्रेडेशन के ऐलानात हैं, इन लोगों ने मुख्तलिफ जगहों में जो छोटे हॉस्पिटल्स हैं 10 बेड के और 15 बेड के, उनको अपग्रेड करके 50 और 100 बेड्स का करने के ऐलानात तो किए, लेकिन ये जो ऐलानात है वो महज ऐलानात तक ही रहे।
Gilgit, the main town, has only one city district hospital, but the condition there is appalling, with a shortage of medicines, trained staff and lack of inpatient facilities. Women are the worst affected. There is not even a single maternity care center or a gynecologist in the entire region, resulting in many women dying during childbirth. The maternal mortality ratio hovers between 250 and 600 per 100,000 live births, the highest in Pakistan. Ali called on the government to improve health sector so that the migrated doctors get proper facilities to return to Gilgit.
हमारा जो डिस्ट्रिक्ट हॉस्पिटल गिलगित है, जो कि गिलगित बल्तिस्तान का सबसे बड़ा हॉस्पिटल है, वहाँ पर भी डॉक्टर्स की बहुत कमी है और स्पेशली जो स्पेशलिस्ट होते हैं उनकी तो बहुत कमी है। तो इस कमी को पूरा करने के लिए भी गवर्नमेंट को इक़दाम करने होंगे। गवर्नमेंट जो है यहाँ के डॉक्टर्स को अच्छी फैसिलिटीज़ दे दें, ताकि जो यहाँ के डॉक्टर्स बाहर काम करते हैं या दीगर पाकिस्तान की बड़ी सिटीज़ में काम करते हैं, वो यहाँ पे आके गिलगित बल्तिस्तान के जो आवाम है उनकी खिदमत कर सकें।
The hospitals also suffer from no power and contaminated water, adding to the woes of locals.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. India announces $500 million infrastructure credit to Mauritius. Sri Lanka to form new commission for probing war crimes allegations. And MQM cries political conspiracy in headquarters raid. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter at SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.